Congressman Bill Huizenga, Republican from Michigan itself, is with us right now. Bear in mind that Larry Kudlow said, I think just yesterday, hey, that GM strike's beginning to hurt the overall economy. So, do you think it's time the Fed stepped in, cooling off period?
No, I don't think that should be the case. I believe this is private sector discussion and debate that needs to happen. We are cognizant of the effects of this. There is definitely some headwinds. It appears that everybody is negotiating in good faith. We've reached out to a number of our suppliers that are suppliers into GM in West Michigan. That's one of our big industries. We've tried to reach out to the UAW local. I have a plant in my district that has 800 union employees, line workers, and another 206, I think it is, salaried. So there is real effects that are happening in Michigan.
What's the sticking point here? I mean, it's into its fourth week for a GM strike, the longest since 1970, for heaven's sake.
Yeah.
Might hurt the economy. What's the big sticking point?
Yeah, so what we're hearing is that it is how you're dealing with the temporary workers and their status, and then sort of where that pay is going to go. And there's no, this is...
Well, but that's one issue.
Yeah.
But 20% of all the GM vehicles sold in the United States, 20% of them are actually made in Mexico. Yeah. That's the problem, is it? Because the UAW does not like that.
Well, and that's one of the reasons why, frankly, and we've talked about this on the show, we need to pass USMCA.
Right, you do.
It increases the U.S. content of those North American-made cars. But we've got to be very cognizant of the effects of this, but I still think that people working in good faith should continue to move forward. Our suppliers are kind of mixed. Some of them are really afraid, as they've slowed down and had to lay some people off voluntarily, that they may not be able to keep doing that voluntarily, and they're going to have to do layoffs, and at which point then they could be going into other industries as well.
Why don't you just get the feds to step in and say, come on, lads.
So since when has Stuart Varney been a federal government interventionist? That's
a good one.
I think we just need to be very careful about the federal government coming in and bigfooting this. No doubt if they have come to an impasse, they can help move it forward and maybe help negotiations clarify, but I don't think we're at that point yet.
It's at a very serious point, because I understand that General Motors says it's going to delay the launch of the new 2020 Corvette. Hey, this is serious.
It is serious. That is a sweet car, and it does need to go forward. But again, it's really about the workers behind it, whether it's the suppliers, and a lot of those parts come out of my district.
Hey, I've hit a nerve with this. Tell me more about the delay.
Well, this is in the Bowling Green, Kentucky plant, which I used to go to all the time when I lived in Nashville, just up on 65. It's amazing. But they're still trying to catch on production on this year's model, so the 2020 could indeed be delayed. It's going to come out in a coupe or a convertible, starting at $67,500. It's that mid-engine redesign. People love this thing, but it could be pushed back because of the strike. GM, however, is saying it's too early to speculate on, production timing, but there is a concern now.
Are manufacturing workers, GM workers in the state of Michigan going to vote for the re-election of President Trump?
That's a good question. I think so. I think USMCA is a big part of that.
Okay, so if we get USMCA, that's a plus for the president.
Between that and tariffs, yes.
But that's a plus for the president.
Yes, I think that
that's one of the reasons why Speaker Pelosi
I would absolutely think that is absolutely the case.
We've got a fight on our hands.
Yep.
Bill Huizenga, thanks for joining us.
Good to
really
see you,
appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks.
All right.